Welcome back. I am back here in the studio. Figured that I'd do my weekly live video, give you an update of everything, and sorry about this.
How do I stop it? Fuck. It's not even doing anything. It's not even doing Sorry.
All right, sorry about that. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty there.
Sage's fault.
Yeah, Sage's fault, as you probably heard her say. Anyway, yeah, so just got back from Conabriga. Had a fantastic day. It was a friend of mine's here birthday, so we went out there. That was one of the things that he wanted to do for his birthday, was to check out this, not just the Roman ruins out there, but they had a Romani festival, is what they call it. So it's a little bit of Roman influence, doing different celebrations that are what would be done like in 180. So like to like around, I think it was around 1100 was when people had escaped that area or abandoned Conabriga, and they had all kinds of different little knick-knack things that were going on. So they had like a wedding ceremony, a funeral ceremony, they had chariot races, gladiators, they were in combat, there was fire. It was pretty much amazing. So they went through those type of things throughout the day, had like little things. They had a thing for kids and marionettes that they were playing. There was belly dancers. So there was all kinds of little things. And they had food, but I think it was just a little bit of Portuguese type food. So I had a sandwich today out there that was just, it was basically just wrapped around some salami and cheese and bread that was baked around it, and it was absolutely delicious. Also, if you have any questions about what's going on, feel free to drop some comments in the comment section, and as I see them, I will give you my feedback and basically let you know what I have going on. So we went out there for his birthday and celebrated that. And also to any of the fathers that are out here watching, happy Father's Day to you all in the States. They don't celebrate Father's Day today. It's Father's Day in Portugal is celebrated on March 22nd. So there wasn't a whole bunch of celebration of Father's Day here. So that's one little difference that's going on from here to the States. But so we did that. I don't know if you can kind of see here on the back, but got some little hooks to have a little bit of decoration of the hats over there, so it doesn't look just willy-nilly. Looks a little more organized. Trying to get things a little bit more organized each week that I'm out here. So I have that, and I've gotten some more boxes that go up on the desk to kind of get that a little bit more organized. So, being in a small space, it's all about being organized and keeping things neat. Otherwise, things get out of hand pretty fast. So just doing a lot of cleaning and keeping up on things. And this week I do start my language course up at the university. Not sure about the specifics of everything that's going to be going on, but I figure I'll walk up there tomorrow and see what the dealio is going to be. I know that basically they are doing a test for people that have an understanding of the Portuguese language. I don't have much of an understanding. I mean, I didn't have enough to, hey, do you speak English, or how much is it? So like I know the bare minimum, but not enough to get out of the first semester of courses. So I'm not taking that test. They already placed me like in what they call the A1 course, which is the very first bottom of the barrel class. So that's kind of what I am looking forward to. I did get a bunch of video and photography of the festival in Coimbra, and we'll probably have a video on that on Wednesday. So if you were interested in what that all looks like and what I experienced, tune in on Wednesday, and I'll have that video posted. Anyway, I'm not seeing any questions yet. Let me see. Live chat. Did I banish my enemies at the gladiator trials? No, but that was pretty freaking wild. They had maces, and they had shields and fire, and they were flinging fire in circles with a mace and slamming it against the shields, and it was pretty freaking amazing. They had basically for what was going on at the end of the evening was like basically a gladiator trials of on horseback and in chariots, and so it started off kind of with a on the horses, and there was the blue team and the red team, and they started off with swords and cut like a watermelon in half that was up in the air about 6 foot, and then they would throw up a cabbage and slice the cabbage in the air, and it's basically whoever could do that would end up getting the points. And then after they did that, they had spears, and they lit the spears on fire, or the tips of the spears on fire, and they ended up having these helium balloons that they were riding their horses by and throwing the lit spear through the balloon and having that all catch fire. And then later on, they had what was it? They had this big ring. It was a circular ring, and it was probably about 15 feet up in the air, or so, 10 to 15 feet, and it was a ring of fire, and they were jumping the horses through this fire and everything. It was I've never seen anything like this before in my life. It was pretty darn amazing. And then after all that, they basically abandoned their horses and started fighting each other. And they had their own ring, the ringleader of, because it's kind of like a circus act is their spiel. But it was for red team and the blue team, there was 2 individuals. So basically one person from the red team was fighting the blue team, and on the other side of the stadium there was the other 2 were fighting each other. So it was kind of fun. Then at the very end, they ended up one person from the red team won, and one person from the blue team lost. So they basically killed each other. Because one person was left from each team, and then the red team ended up winning it all because they were the good guys. But I do plan on having more video on that, and I might do multiple videos because I got a lot of video of the horses and everything. So if it turns out as neat as I think that it did, I'll post quite a bit of video. So the only thing that I had questions about was about how much everything was in focus and whatnot. Let's see, like I saw your comment, like historically accurate. I'd say like maybe 70%, but like it seemed like the materials like were not like it seemed like there was like some type of poly blend that was going on with some of like the clothing. So I wouldn't say that it was 100% historic, but they at least tried. Some of like the gladiator stuff, I'm not like 100% professional in the stuff there, but they had some of it had like the chainmail was a little bit. There was like a couple different types of chainmail. Like with the gladiators, they had like it's like rings with the leather. So like they had the metal rings, and then there was leather tied into it. So I don't know historically what time period that might be, or if that was like completely something different. Then there was like some guards there that had like the tighter chainmail, but it seemed like the helmets they're a little bit different than what I'm familiar with, because it wasn't like the Trojan type helmets that people typically hear about, or see in movies and that. So it was kind of like the helmets were like dome shaped, but then there was like a metal bar that kind of came across. There was a couple bars across. I think that I think during the funeral scene that those individuals were there. Like I tried to get video. Basically, like they're walking down the street. They're taking people that were doing video hostage, but I kind of got my video over there. But when I did it, I guess double tapped it, and it didn't get the video right. But it was kind of funny because it's something that you wouldn't see in the United States. They were like putting up like a real knife, or I mean a dagger, up to some woman's throat. So it's pretty wild to see something like that happen. But yeah, great questions. Thank you. And let me see. Yeah, if the Romans had synthetics, they would have used it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, the Romans were pretty masterful in taking on whatever environment that they would in order to conquer a specific area. Yeah, and it's okay to like leave your comments up there. Yeah, like, and I was thinking about that today, about like the difference between like a Ren Fair and like a Ren Fair versus this, and I kind of like this a little bit better. It seemed maybe a little bit more historically accurate. But like Ren Fairs, it's a different time period. So you have like the Renaissance that they're trying to portray, and then with this type of fair, and it's not really like it's not really a fair because it's only like a 3 day. It's a festival more than a fair, I would say, because like they're trying to do just like a reenactment for 3 days of what's going on like from like 100 BC, and they're not speaking in Italian or Roman. They were talking in Portuguese, so I mean it's not like 100% accurate, but I think that they did a great job, and it had a little bit of a different feel. There was like concubines and stuff. There was like some weird stuff. Like I don't know if you saw my live video that I posted earlier, but there was like some individuals that had like some really bizarre getup that I've never seen before. I would say that they were probably much more accurate of the peasants, maybe, and I don't know what they were trying to portray, but it seemed like that they had like oil, like olive oils, on the back of their packs, but they had like a bowl that they were doing their music, but they were walking like maybe it was just really, really slowly. So hopefully, like with the live video that I posted, that it kind of portrayed like things. Like I did listen to it, and it didn't sound like it picked up the sound from the bowls, the singing bowls is what basically they had. But it was as an airy look, like you could see like how they look. So I don't know if it was just the makeup that they were putting on was making it look like they had mud on them. Different foods. Let me see. About the ruins. So like I had actually been to the site before back in the fall when I was doing my scouting trip. I went with a friend over there and checked it out, and I was in complete awe of everything, and it was just it's so much to take in this area that I don't think that like I knew that like I just didn't understand like what it was going on here, like even like from like the time periods. So like it was a little bit different experience just because I had a little bit of a knowledge of like the layout and a little bit of the history. So like I understood a little bit more, but like I mean there's so much to it because it was built 2,000 years ago, and like basically you had like the Visigoths that had came in here and destroyed the area. Then they ended up building a massive wall between two sites of buildings that were there, and they like I guess after the first time that it had been destroyed, they used some of the stones from the building to make this wall. And this wall is like about 20 foot tall, I'd say, and 10, 12 foot thick. So like it's a lot of stone that they put in through there. But like the Visigoths came in here and ransacked it. And then in the 1100s, the Moors came up in through the Iberian Peninsula and came up through there, and ransacked it. So you have all that influence. You have like the Romans, the Moors, and the Visigoths all battling it out for this, part of the Iberian Peninsula. So it's interesting to see how things had changed. And there's a little bit of stuff with the ruins that you can see that were like even on the inside of the walls of the city, nearby the forum part, the underneath there, the old city that was there before, like the very first like of the Romans building there, like they built over top of the ruins that were there. So like it's the first time I got there was pretty hard to like comprehend like what all had gone on because of all that. But for foods, what all did they? Because like they had like I called it a old school hot pocket. So it was basically like a chorizo and cheese and ham is what was in it, but it was so good. Chorizo or sausage and high quality cheese. So it wasn't the quality that you get into a hot pocket, but it was something that was very tasty. And then the breading around it was all fresh. So it's something that was much better than a hot pocket, but it was something that was just something kind of funny to say when we were going around. So that's what we had over there, but they had like all kinds of trees though, just like hanging out on ropes on the stands, and then they had limonada for sale, and that had cups that ended up you ended up buying like these pottery cups for that, but it was only like 80 cents for a lemonade. It's like they had like a charcuterie board. I saw some people with charcuterie boards of just like all kinds of sausage and cheese, and there was like pizza that was there. So some of the food wasn't so much authentic, but it was all fresh food. So no turkey legs that like you would see at a Ren fair. But there was good food, and it smelled pretty good, but it wasn't like the typical Ren Fair food that you would see. So it's pretty good food, and that's just pretty much how it is in Portugal. Everything is pretty pure when it comes to food here. There's not many additives. When it comes to preserving their food, they do use a lot of salt, and they might use sugar depending on what the thing that they're trying to preserve. So like the big food item that they have here that they preserve is the cod, and what they will do is they saturate the cod with salt and dehydrate it through the process of salting it. And when they prepare it for serving to tourists or whatnot at the restaurants, they end up putting it back into water and rehydrating it. And I've heard that they also put it in milk to kind of try to draw out a little bit more of the salt. But yeah, so like that's kind of what they do. So like you go to the grocery store and you see like these, they're kind of thin looking, maybe an inch, but then it's like really wide. So they basically just rehydrate and it expands out, and like you'll get like a piece of cod that's like 3 inches thick and about 4 inches wide, and by 6 inches or something. I mean, it's usually like a huge piece of cod, and it's something to definitely get used to for fish. The other thing is the difference with the way that they cut the fish here. When you're eating the fish, there's much more bones that are in the fish, so you might be a little bit surprised by the amount of bones that you see in there. And it's the same thing with like salmon, as it is with cod. There are bones in there, so you just have to kind of pick them out. Or I haven't really learned how to cut the meat away to not eat so many of the bones, but I just have to eat more fish, I guess, in order to get that perfected. All right, so yeah, I think that I have pretty much answered everybody's questions so far. Everything seems to be going pretty well. Kind of updated you on my plans for the week, and there's some other ideas with the videos that I need to get out there, and some other stuff with the my blog, but kind of with the blog part, I'm going to be concentrating on the kings. I have written about the first king, Alfonso, which kind of helped out with the what's going on today of like going out to Conabriga, just to kind of have an understanding of like the difference between, or what was going on in the 12th century of like with the Moors and the Catholic Church and the conquistadors of the specific area. And so like I kind of had a baseline for what was going on, of why they decided to abandon that area. So I'll continue doing that. I did go over to, I don't know, like if you all had watched or saw anything else on my Facebook page, but I had gone over to the Santa Cruz, sorry. It's the Santa Cruz Monastery, that's right up the street, and had posted some pictures, but we ended up seeing King Alfonso's entombment and his son King Sancho the First's entombment. They're just right across from each other. I do have a lot more pictures from inside that church. That church is insane, because you walk in there. It is the church there when you just walk in there, and you don't have to pay anything to get inside that part of it. But if you want to go back into the monastery, I think it's like €3 per person. But it is insane. They have Saint Teotonio's skull in there that's in an enshrinement. And that thing is insane. And then you continue on through there, and there's different areas where like the priests would pray and hold their sacraments and things. And then there's a cloister back there, which is kind of an open area that has a fountain, and then you kind of like from there you kind of walk up and you can kind of look down, and goes to another sanctuary, and then you can go further up like above where you enter, and then you can see the organ and everything. But it is an absolutely fascinating area. Like the sanctuary is insane. I've never seen anything quite like that before. It literally is something that was built by the Illuminati from like like close to 700 years ago, and it's just, they have like these pyramids that are there's 12 like pyramids that are in there on each direction, and inside of like the pyramids that like go up these walls is these artifacts from different bishops that had put them in there and found them. And there's also like a shrine up there of Saint Anthony, not the Saint Anthony, but a Saint Anthony that was over in this area. But they have his skull up in there behind a piece of broken glass inside of a box. So it's an interesting spot. So if you ever do come to Coimbra, do take the time to go into the Santa Cruz Monastery. I did misspeak earlier saying Santa Clara. There is a Santa Clara Monastery here also, but it's over on the other side of the river, other side of the Mondego River. And there's like the old monastery that's down there that basically like it got flooded, and they've had to excavate it, and they're in the process of getting that all corrected. Then up the hill is basically like the new monastery for Santa Clara. And I've been up to the monastery up on the hill, and I've seen like the other one from outside. There's the walls, but you can kind of see into it. But I haven't walked through either of them, so that's something that's definitely on my list to do too. So we'll probably do some of that stuff. But yeah, like I've been talking here for 30 minutes, and I can't believe that 30 minutes has already popped by. I have had some great questions. I thank you very much for asking those questions. I enjoy having this type of interaction and being able to communicate with my friends back home and anybody else that is over here communicating with me. But yeah, like I absolutely love you all. I appreciate you all give me the support and motivation to keep on creating content for y'all, because I don't look at it this as my channel, you know, the Atypical Vagabond. You know, that's just a moniker or something kind of to be kind of funny about. So I do look at this as our channel, that it's something that we all are going to be building together with the videos here. So like any interaction that I get with you all, like it gives me other ideas of other videos to produce for you all, so you can have just as much fun as I am living life here. Because I think that we all should be enjoying life to the fullest, and not be working ourselves to death, you know, or you know, working to live, you know. So I'm trying to do things a little bit differently than I had been in the States, where I was just working all the time and trying to have a good work-life balance going on. So me doing what I'm doing here, I've been basically just trying to share what I'm doing to succeed at that. And one of the things that is going on is that minimalism thing that I spoke about earlier. You know, I had a 2,000 square foot house that was filled full of stuff, and you know, how much did I interact with all that stuff throughout the day was not that much. So it's like thinking about the things that really are necessary in life. And it's like I just mass things, and it's like I need this tool in order to do this project, and I need this to do that, and I need that to that. Then I just leave stuff to the side. So having things, less things, has been more enriching for me, which seems completely bonkers. You know, and some of the stuff like that I eat here is just like, the more simple that it is actually much better. It's like a couple nights ago I had linguine carbonara, and all it is pasta, and then a cream sauce and ham. And some Parmesan. And I think that they might have had some pepper, but it only has like 5 ingredients, and absolutely delicious and satisfying. But yeah, again, want to wish everybody that's a father out there, or anybody that might be taking on a kid into their life, a happy Father's Day. And doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're a mother that's stepping into being the father's role, happy Father's Day to you too. It's being a parent is a difficult thing, and that's one of the greatest joys that I've ever had in my life, was being a father to my daughter. She's one of the greatest joys in my life, and I truly enjoyed that I got to FaceTime with her and talk to her today too. So being a father never stops, no matter where I'm at in the world. So yeah, love your kids that you have, and give them a good hug if you haven't had the chance to do so. But yeah, I think I am going to jump off of here. I feel like I am just rambling, and I'm not seeing any other questions. I'm just kind of rambling. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut it off. If you're rewatching this after the fact, and you're new to this channel, and you found that this live stream was entertaining, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified of any new videos that I have coming out. And feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will respond back to it. I don't look at these videos as being dead. I do try to interact with everybody when they comment on here. So yeah, and yeah, until then, I'll catch you on the next one, y'all. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.